Hello and welcome to StriveScan 201, Managing Your Team College Rep Training. Today's training is all about managing your institution's StriveScan team. We'll go into detail for team managers, travel managers, CRM managers about different things like user permissions, advanced security features, and fair credit. I'm Annie Mills, the Director of College and Fair Relations, and I'm joined today by Isabella Williams and Aaron Chan, who will teach you everything you need to know about how to manage your institution's StriveScan team. Here's our agenda for today. We'll talk about managing staff member and alumni rep accounts, user permissions, advanced security features, managing fair credits, misconnections, StriveScan's automatic uploads, and our data format. We'll also cover some frequently asked questions that we receive throughout the travel season. We'll start with just a bit of background on StriveScan. We were founded in 2016 and used at in-person college fairs. We help students and colleges connect at college fairs nationwide. We're trusted by 20 ACACs and 9 ACROs for their college fairs, and we're also used by hundreds of individual high school fairs to collect information at those events. 2,000 institutions nationwide and internationally have trusted StriveScan to collect information for in-person and virtual college fairs. In addition to use at in-person college fairs, we're also used at high school visits to collect student information. The use of StriveScan at high school visits is a subscription process, and if you're interested, we recommend you watch our 301 training to learn more. You can also, of course, find StriveScan in virtual college fairs as well.
Here at StriveScan, we encourage everyone in your office to have their own StriveScan account. And to help support the process, we offer 3 user types: admin, standard, and limited users. So we want to talk through who is best suited for each role. Admin users are typically your directors and managers, or those who manage people, travel, or the CRM in your office. Standard users are typically staff who attend college fairs, like your admission counselors. They need to scan and collect information, but they also need to be able to access that data too. Limited users are typically your alumni representatives, interns, or student workers who attend fairs and need to collect information, but they don't need to take any action with that data after the fair. So let's chat through which features are available to each group. We'll be going from right to left here. So your limited users are able to unlock fairs, scan, and take notes on the students that they meet. But importantly, limited users can only see the student's name, not their full profile of information, and they cannot export any of the data. Also, since they may be using a personal device, no profile data is stored locally on their phone. It's only stored with StriveScan in the cloud. Moving over to our standard users, they can also unlock fairs, scan, take notes exactly the same as a limited user, but what's different is that they can view all of the scanned data and see the student's full profile on their screen when they scan. They're also able to export the data after the fair. Standard users are able to add and edit internal event IDs, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. And if your institution's using StriveScan for visits, then standard users will be able to create and edit those visits. Finally, admin users have all of those permissions, plus they are the only ones who can manage the institution's StriveScan team, which means they can add or remove team members, change permission levels, edit the institution's profile, and set up automatic uploads. Next, we'll talk through how your admin users can manage your team members. As I mentioned, every representative in your office should have their own StriveScan account. What we do is we take all of those individual accounts and they are connected together via the institution's StriveScan team. In this case, we're going to assume that your institution already has an account set up and that you have a login as well. If you don't have an account yet, we recommend that you jump back to our 101 training recording to make sure you're able to get set up. If you're not sure if your institution has an account yet, ask your colleagues, or you can head to strivescan.com/register to find out. So in order to add new staff members to your institution's StriveScan team, you'll want to log into the website and under the account section, click team members. You'll then find a section right at the top of that page to invite your colleagues via their email address to join the team. We're going to talk through the example of adding an admission counselor to the team. In this case, this counselor does need to be able to scan, see the student's full profile of information, and export the data after the fair. But they don't need to have the admin access to add and remove team members or edit the institutional profile. So as a result, we're going to get them added as a standard user. You'll add their email address in the email address field, and then we'll select standard permission from the dropdown. The colleague you then invite will receive an invitation email and will be able to click on the link to accept your invitation. We would recommend giving that user, that colleague, a heads up that you've invited them because they're going to need to click the create account button, set their own password, and then add their own profile of information with details like job title and contact information. Now, I will say that new admission counselors can also drive this process on their own. They can start by creating their account at strivescan.com/register. If their institution already has a StriveScan team, they'll be prompted to join that team during account creation. It's possible your institution may have separate StriveScan teams for the admissions office and professional schools, international admissions, or honors programs. The representative, as they create their account, will identify the appropriate team based on existing team member names, and then we'll select the admin users who should receive their request to join. Once that request is sent, the admin users will receive the request via email and will be able to approve or reject the request to join the team. They can log into their StriveScan account at any point and review pending team requests. You'll click that approve or reject button, and then we'll set the permission level for that new team member. From there, your admission counselor will download the StriveScan app by searching StriveScan in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. They'll log in using the credentials they just created and will then unlock the fair they're attending. When they arrive at the event, they'll open the fair within the app, they'll click on the blue camera icon on their screen, and then they'll be able to scan. When they scan, they'll see the student's full profile of information, and after the event, all they need to do is click the export button. As we mentioned, standard users can export the data via the app or directly from the website. Once they click export, they will instantly receive a secure link to download the student data. So let's talk about what if you have an alumni rep. We're going to take a lot of the same steps. So as the admin user, you'll log into the website, click team members, enter that alumni representative's email address, but under the permission dropdown, you'll select limited instead of standard as we did moments ago. They'll receive an invitation email, so give them a heads up, and via that email, they'll be able to create their account and choose their password. Similarly, they'll download the same StriveScan mobile app, will log in using the credentials they just created. The alumni rep can unlock the fair themselves, or your team members are able to do this ahead of time for them. They'll arrive at the fair, open the StriveScan app, click that blue camera icon, and start scanning. Whenever a limited user scans, they'll only see the student's name. The full profile of information is still being collected. However, it's not downloaded or stored locally on the limited user's device. The data is only stored in the cloud, and the limited user cannot export that student data. That means that one of your team members will either need to export that data for them and for your office, or you can set up automatic uploads, which we'll discuss here later in this recording. As you can see, we take data security very seriously here on Team StriveScan and want to ensure data is handled securely at every step along the way. There are certain circumstances where an admin or standard user may want the same protections on their mobile device that we've discussed for limited users. And that's why we have something called stealth mode. As you log in, if you check the box next to stealth mode, your device will behave similarly to what we've showed you already for limited users. In stealth mode, you can scan at fairs and collect student data, but you're not downloading any student details to your device locally. When you're in stealth mode, you cannot export from the mobile app since that data is not stored on your device. But you can always go back to the StriveScan website where you'll have your full set of controls, including the ability to export. Stealth mode is specific to the device, so you can have a work iPad logged in normally while using stealth mode on your personal phone. You're able to verify if you're in stealth mode with the banner that appears at the top of the screen as you're using the app in stealth mode. Additionally, we have 2 other advanced security features to help keep your data secure. StriveScan offers biometric login, and with biometric login, you can enable Face ID or Touch ID and will then be required to scan your face or fingerprint in order to access data within the app. We also offer 2-factor authentication, which adds another layer of security when you log in. In addition to entering your password, we'll also send a text message or email with a security code as you log in. We strongly recommend turning on 2-factor authentication for security, not just on StriveScan, but on all of your apps. On the website, on the team members page, you can check and see if fellow members of your team have enabled 2-factor authentication or not under the 2FA column.
Now that we've touched on user permissions and our advanced security features, let's talk about managing your team. After you finish watching this recording, we highly encourage you to log in and update the other users' permissions. Set staff to standard and alums to limited. Remove anyone no longer employed, and send invites to your new staff members to ensure they join us for StriveScan 101 training at the end of August, or watch the recording on the website. In addition to making sure your StriveScan team is up to date, we'll want to be sure if you have fair credits available to unlock certain fairs. We'll talk about this now. Some fairs include scanning with your registration fee, and others require a fair credit to scan. If you're ever unsure, you'll see it here. Fairs that say gain access mean scanning is included, and you'll enter a code to unlock them. For fairs that say 1 credit, you'll need to purchase a credit and use it to unlock scanning at the fair. Fair credits cost $24 each, and 1 credit unlocks scanning at 1 fair. That credit allows you an unlimited number of student scares at 1 fair. There is no need to purchase a lead package. It also allows you an unlimited number of reps scanning. If you're at the fair with a colleague or alumni rep, you both can scan with 1 credit. And you can scan with an unlimited number of devices, all with that 1 fair credit. There's no by device purchase necessary. You can purchase fair credits at any time through the app or website, and they can be purchased individually or in bulk. Credits are shared across all team members at an institution and can be used at any StriveScan fair that requires a credit. Credits never expire, so if you have any left over, they can be rolled over to a future season. If you end up not attending a fair or you don't scan anyone there, you can relock the fair and return that credit back to your team's account for future use. However, you can only relock prior to the end of the fair if you haven't scanned anyone. Here's the pro tip for our regional reps. We know some regional reps have their own separate budget, and you may not want other staff members to use the credits you purchase. In those cases, we recommend you purchase the credits, then immediately use them to unlock the fairs you're intending to use them for. This holds your credits. If your plans change, you can always relock it prior to the end of the fair and get that credit back to use somewhere else. Check your account for your credit balance. This can be done on the app by clicking on the account tab and via the website by clicking on fair credits. These fair credits are shared by all members of your institution's StriveScan team, and you can purchase credits individually or in bulk via the app and the website. A credit card is required to purchase fair credit. When a fair credit is purchased, a receipt is immediately emailed to the purchaser. Some quick tips. Make sure the credit card on file is up to date. It may have expired. In some cases, StriveScan appears as a software purchase, and some P cards have restrictions on who can purchase software. Unfortunately, we receive limited information as to why a card is declined. So check with your business office or card issuing bank to determine why your card may have been declined. As we mentioned earlier, many college fairs include scanning as part of your registration fee. For those fares that include scanning with your registration, you'll receive a 4-digit code to unlock the fare. In these cases, no credit is required. You'll receive that 4-digit code in advance of the fare from the fare host and also from StriveScan. It will also be available the day of the fare. To unlock the fare, you'll click the Unlock Fare button, enter the 4-digit code, and you'll gain access to the fare and can begin to scan. Reminder, if you're unsure if you need a fare credit for scanning or if it's included, check the app. You'll see gain access for fares that include scanning and 1 credit for fares that require a credit to scan. Everything we've discussed thus far happens prior to the fare. Now let's talk about what happens after the fare. Each student will receive 1 email from StriveScan with all the college's information with whom they scan. This includes the institution profile, as well as the rep's contact information scanning at that fare. While only admin users have the ability to edit or update institution profile, each user can control their own individual profile that includes their name, job titles, and contact information. We know there are fares where students don't have an opportunity to talk with every college on their list. StriveScan Misconnections allows students the opportunity to share their information with a school later on after being prompted after the fare via text and email. Misconnections are great if a student has a long list and it's a short fare, or if they register for the event but then are sick or have to miss because of practice or work. College reps are notified of new misconnections every Monday, but your institution can also set up automatic uploads to get misconnections into your CRM. The email will tell you which fares your institution has received new misconnections from. Click on the fare link in the email and export all data from that event to find your new misconnection. Students can send misconnections at any time, so you may see the fare name in the email multiple weeks in a row. You'll need to repeat this process each week. Download all data from that event and find the new misconnection. You're able to designate a person or people on your StriveScan team to receive the Monday email. In your account, click on Misconnections and complete the recipient email section. We'll talk about the easier route, which allows you to turn off the Monday email entirely shortly.
All right, let's talk more about accessing your data after an event has concluded. As we discussed earlier, after the fare, admin and standard users can manually export scan data via the button in the app or the website at any time. Institutions also have the ability to automatically upload data directly to their CRM using Secure File Transfer Protocol, or SFTP. For manual exports, admin and standard users log into the StriveScan app or website and export manually. They're then instantly emailed a secure link to download the file. Anyone with admin or standard permission can manually export scans from an event, even if they were not scanning at that event themselves. An event's export file contains data from every user on the team who is scanning at that particular event. Now let's talk a little bit more about automatic uploads. Institutions have the option to automatically upload data directly to your CRM using Secure File Transfer Protocol. Every night, all new scans from any college fairs, virtual fairs, or high school visits, if you've subscribed, and all new misconnections will be batched and uploaded. Admin users can set this up to our website. You'll also need to provide us with your SFTP host and login credentials. If you use Slate, you'll need to create a service account in order for StriveScan to connect. You'll also need to allow our IP address to connect to your server, and we have a lot more information available at strivescan.com/SFTP as a resource as you set this up. If we encounter any errors with your automatic upload, we'll notify the email address listed in this field, and our server will automatically retry the next day. With automatic uploads, we consolidate all data from any college fair, virtual event, or visits, including scans by all team members and new misconnections from the previous day. The file will note who the data is coming from and the method by which it was received. Due to the different fields we collect, we separate out scans from students, parents, and professionals into different CSV files. Additionally, students with US addresses or US phone numbers are separated from students with international addresses or phone numbers. And finally, if you use StriveScan for visits, any scan from high school visits will also be included in its own file. Again, this is only if you turn on automatic uploads. If your staff is manually exporting through the mobile app or website, then the files you receive will just be the scans for that one particular event. With automatic uploads, the data for each type of person is sent in a separate CSV file, and the file is named accordingly so that you're able to easily identify the data and the method by which it was received. As you see here, each file name follows a convention that includes the method it was received, a scan or a connection, and the person type, students, parents, and professionals, as well as the time stamp that that export was created. So why might this be helpful? As an example, your institution may decide to treat scans and misconnections differently. You might want to send a different message to people you actually met and scanned, as opposed to misconnections who may be interested in your institution but didn't get a chance to actually meet you at an event. Using StriveScan's file naming conventions, you can distinguish between each data type in order to customize your approach. So in summary, automatic uploads consolidates your institution scan data across all events your team may have attended in that past day, as well as misconnections received that day from prior college fairs. If you don't use automatic uploads, you should still manually export your data. And as a reminder, standard and admin users at an institution that uses automatic uploads can still export individual event data manually if they'd like to via the app or website at any time. So now you and your institution have two options for exporting. You can manually export by pressing that export button in the mobile app or website. And you also have the option to turn on automatic uploads. And again, if you do turn on automatic uploads, you don't lose the ability to access your data immediately after an event. Manual exports are still available if there's any need to get to that data right away before it gets uploaded, or if you need to go back to a particular event and find data. To learn more about our data format, we highly encourage you to check out our export guide at strivescan.com/export. A few highlights, as mentioned, all of our export files are comma-separated values for maximum compatibility. The export guide also shares the StriveScan file name structure with wildcards, so you can map data that you received to the correct place in your CRM. It also includes a list of all of the fields included in StriveScan data, including the list of academic interest options pulled from the College Board's list of majors. Institutions using automatic uploads have the ability to add an internal event ID to college fairs and visits for easier matching to events that you have existing in your CRM. In Slate, this could be your event WID, and in Salesforce, this could be your campaign ID. And in other CRMs, we may call a fair one name in our system and you call it another name in yours. So your internal event ID would be a way to help you match each event. The internal event ID is added to each row of student data in the export file right next to the event name. You can enter the internal event ID via the app using the edit button in the upper right-hand corner or via the website. At this point, we'd love to talk through some of our frequently asked questions. So what happens if someone in my office has created a separate StriveScan account that is separate from my team?
Great question. You may be reviewing the team members page and not see someone listed. You thought your team had credits, but you're not seeing them in your account. Someone else unlocked a fair, but it's not unlocked for you. These are often symptoms of having two separate institution accounts. And to resolve this, you need to merge them together. An admin on your primary account should send the invite to the person with the rogue account. That person with the rogue account should then log into our website and accept the invitation to join the primary account. This will merge any fair credits, unlocked fairs, and scan data with the primary account.
Should an honors college, a college within my university, or an academic program have their own separate team?
Another great question. This depends. So some things to consider. Do you normally register for fairs separately with two tables at the fair? Do you want to keep your student list separate? Do you have unique branding and contact information for each program? The reason why this matters is you may want the contact information and website links of a particular college or program to be shared with the student report after the fair. If someone on your team needs to split off on their own team, you can contact us at help@strivescan.com and we can assist with that.
Thanks so much. All right. Well, thanks for watching our recording today. We've covered user permissions, so be sure to add any new staff members to your institution's team and remove anyone who has left your institution. Consider turning on biometric login and two-factor authentication to add extra layers of security to your StriveScan account. Remember to purchase fair credits in preparation for travel. Review your institution's profile to make sure it's complete and up to date. Identify who at your institution should receive Monday notifications for new missed connections, and consider if you want to turn on automatic uploads to streamline the process of uploading student scan and missed connection data into your CRM. Finally, decide if adding internal event IDs would help your operations team be more efficient. All of our training recordings can be found at strivescan.com/training. There you can see our 101 training, which covers the basics of scanning at high school or at college fairs. And then you can also view our StriveScan 301 training, which covers scanning at high school visits. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our team at help@strivescan.com. Thanks for viewing the recording and have a great day.